With this build, you're able to dish out nearly 2600 DPS while maintaining an infinite loop of mods. This is a build for those players who absolutely love their mods and want to keep its uptime as close to 100% of the time as possible without abusing any glitches or exploits. And to find out how we do that, let's jump right into the build without wasting any more time. We start off with the primary weapon, the pulse rifle. This you can change around to whatever you prefer, however, I thoroughly enjoyed this weapon's DPS and so I just went with it. I inserted the overflow mod mostly for its fire rate and reload speed buff, and I threw in the momentum mutator to squeeze out as much DPS as I can. For the relic fragments, I went with the typical ranged DPS fragments, which are the crit chance, crit damage, and fire rate increase. As for the secondary, I went with the Nebula. Its mod is able to dish out a couple hundred DPS passively without me having to worry about it at all. I just toggle it on and switch back to my primary. Now, as with most builds, the amulets and the rings are the true difference maker. So what have we got in store today? This right here is the amulet that allows me to cycle through my mods nearly infinitely. To pair with this amulet, of course, I equip both the Failing and the Pharon's Ring. Even though the Pharon's Ring is mostly a waste, the 50% boost I gain from the amulet is able to boost up the Pharon's Ring by quite a lot, which allows me to enter that infinite mod state. And as for the other two rings, we go with the typical ranged DPS options, which is the Probability Cord and the Xania's Malice. So all in all, a build is just a build if you don't know how to use it properly. So let's see how we should use this build when taking on boss fights. Alright, so we're gonna take on here the Red Prince, and we'll see how this turns out. Before the fight starts here, I'm going to use the Nebula mod as well as the Hunter's Mark so that I keep up as much uptime as possible so I don't waste any time. I'm going to use here the Archon skill to boost up the DPS, and it's time to dish out some damage. Avoid here the boss mechanics. And okay. So here we're just going to keep doing as much DPS as possible. As you can already see on the bottom right corner, my Nebula's mod is already up, which I'm just going to activate it here. And the damage is back on track. The overflow mod is back and I can use it again. Let me do a couple dodges here and we're back to DPSing. Don't want this guy to hit me in the back. Nebula mod is back again, use it again. Oh, that was close. Dishing out quite a lot of damage, and we're on to phase 2 of the boss. Gonna trigger here a little bit of Nebula on him, because hopefully that dot will give away his position when he spawns behind the fire. But we'll see if that works. So right now my mods are not full, because I was not constantly dishing out damage. You know, for this build to work, you need to consistently be dishing out damage, or else you're not going to have your mods up. Okay, just a couple of dodges here. He's somewhere here in the fire. My overload's back. Oh my god, it's quite close. And we're using it, dishing out some damage. My Nebula's back. Ooh. Almost died there. So with this build as well, I'm able to take about 2 hits or so from most bosses, 2 or 3 hits, which should be just enough to heal back to full if I get hit by a boss. Okay, the fire phase should end here. And it did. Nebula mod is up. I got overflow. And there goes overflow. My Nebula mod is already back to full, so I can already use it again. I'm gonna take out these 2 guys. The Nebula is great to take out these guys because of its AoE type damage. And they're both out. And it's time to dish out DPS. Oh, I'm out of ammo on both bullets. On both weapons, rather. Oh, it's rather close. That's not good. Take out these little guys again. Oh, he entered the fire stage. I did not intend for that to happen. I wanted to kill him before we entered this 3rd stage here. I'm going to use here the Nebula mod to give away his position. As you can see here, it's going to... he came from the left side. He almost got me. And he's dead. Wait, what? All right. Well, I killed him. I killed him. Dude, I thought he died, and so I stopped shooting. I literally thought he died. But hey, it counted, man. It counted as a win. I'll take it. He's gone. The door's open. That's a win in my book. That was ugly there at the end, but we'll take what we got.